Israel Adesanya.
28-0!
McGregor announcing
About a guy who
Hey, what's up the homies? Leighton here for UFC Gambling Addicts, back again for a big one, UFC 261. Now this card, we say it every week. This is a cool card. This is a cool pay-per-view. But this one, man, 3 title fights. But that's not the buzz. That's not the buzz. The real buzz. The fans are back. The fans are back. And a couple of you guys have told me you're going to this event. And that's going to be awesome for you. But the people watching at home, it's going to be awesome for us too, man. The fans are back. This sport is nothing without the fans. And that's a fact. Now, I did it again last week. We hit the K. I told my people on the YouTube channel membership, Tony Gravely decision, Hubbard decision, Pena decision. Unfortunately, Tony Gravely, he had a good one. You know, credit to Tony Gravely. So I loaded up the same parlay. I chose Cortez in the replacement. So yeah, we're on a big streak at the moment. Really nice bet slips coming in. And hopefully we can do that again on UFC 261. I'm just happy the fans are back, man. This is going to be a great one. As always, make sure you head kick the like button. If you don't want to head kick it, that's just the standard guide. You can use your own techniques. Alright, so yeah, let's jump into breaking down these fights. Alright, first fight, we've got Carnelossi taking on Liang. And we're going to start with the Brazilian, Carnelossi. So Carnelossi, 0 wins, 1 loss inside the UFC. She was outclassed by Angela Hill in her UFC debut. Basically taught a lesson about speed on the back foot. Angie Hill just doing Angie Hill stuff, you know. You got to respect it. But Carnelossi, you know, she's got big power on the feet. And that should be a problem in this matchup. Liang, I believe this could potentially be submission or bust. If you look at her fights prior to this debut, she's submitting girls. You know, she's taking you down. She's looking to submit you. Most times when you have a breakdown, it's one or the other. And I feel like that here. You know, it's going to be Carnelossi landing power on the feet. Or it's going to be Liang finding a submission on the mat. In my opinion, I'm going to go with the Brazilian. I think she's going to basically box up Liang on the feet and avoid the mat. If she does hit the mat, she could potentially avoid the submission and get back to her feet. So that's going to be my prediction on this one. I'm going to take Carnelossi via decision. My odds, I'd put Carnelossi minus 180, minus 190. And I'd put Liang plus 160, plus 170. Now the actual odds, we've got Carnelossi over minus 200 or bang on minus 200. It makes sense, you know, more people are seeing her being able to avoid the submission game. So yeah, it makes sense. Jeff Molina taking on Qileng Aori. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, man. Now this one's a good one. I just said with the first breakdown, most times it's one way or the other. Right? It's either going to be that or that. With this fight, I don't feel like that. You know, this one, when you think about this one, this is a really good matchup. Jeff Molina, 8 wins, 2 losses as a pro, making his UFC debut. Quite a technical guy. You know, this guy's quite technical. The opponent maybe not as technical as Jeff Molina, but he has a lot of experience. You know, Qileng, 18 wins, 6 losses as a pro. He's got the experience advantage. And when you've got that much more experience than your opponent, you're kind of closing that skill gap a little bit, you know? You're closing it with the experience you have inside the octagon. But this one, man, like I said, it's a really good matchup. And I don't feel like it's going to be one or the other. I think both guys are going to have good moments. Jeff, the striking looks good. Maybe better than Aori. But Aori can stand and bang. You know, this guy is very aggressive. He gets in your face and he tries to force a brawl. He tries to make stuff happen inside the octagon. If you want to lay money on a fight that can get crazy, this might be it. I'm going to take Qileng. I think that experience that I mentioned could potentially close that gap. And he could, you know, he could get aggressive and win rounds. But Yeah, I expect Jeff Molina to have some good moments. I'm just going to look forward to this one. I'm not going to bet on it, but I am going to take Qileng to get a close decision, maybe even a finish. My numbers, I'd keep him close. I'd put Qileng minus 110. Jeff Molina the same, maybe minus 120 because of that technical advantage that he does have. I'm looking forward to seeing the real odds, the current odds. We've got... Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. Qileng minus 110. Molina minus 110. It's spot on. You know, you love to see it. You know, the odds, the real odds, really do reflect what I see in this matchup. It's not one way or the other. This one's a good one. It's a close one to imagine. Could Jeff Molina go in there and mop the floor? Wipe this guy out? Maybe. But if he doesn't, Qileng, he's aggressive. He's aggressive. So this one's a scrap, man. This one is a scrap. I'm going to take Qileng. I'm not going to be laying no juice on it, though. Rodrigo Vargas taking on Rong. And we're going to start with the newcomer, Zhu. So Zhu comes into this debut spot. 17 wins, 3 losses in his pro career. Now this guy can strike. He's on a 10 fight win streak. And he can strike, you know, pretty aggressive. The technique's good. You know, he can grapple too. And to be honest, I've seen a couple bad moments in his fights where he has been clipped, has been taken down, had his back taken even. And he finds a way to get out of these positions. You know, he seems to take control of these fights. And that's why he's on a 10 fight win streak. And that's why he's made his way to the UFC. Rodrigo Vargas, 0 wins, 2 losses inside the UFC. Now thinking back to the last time we saw this guy, it was against Brock Weaver. I took Rodrigo as a big underdog in that fight. And to be honest, it was looking okay. You know, he took down Brock. But I can't remember what happened. I think it... was it a knee? A legal knee? Disqualification? And we haven't seen Rodrigo since then. You know, he's been inactive. Not really a great striker. When you think of his striking, it's not too good. So I do see the newcomer having a good fight here. You know, stylistically, to get Rodrigo Vargas in your debut, I see Rong basically competing anywhere this fight goes. On the mat, the striking, I think he's going to outclass Vargas. So I'll take Zhu via... I'm going to take TKO. You know, he's been finishing all of these guys. And I think he could finish Rodrigo too. My numbers, I'd put Zhu at least minus 200. Vargas plus 170. Alright, moving into the next one. We've got Danaa taking on Kevin Natividad. And we're going to start with Danaa. So Danaa, this guy is primarily a striker. Good Muay Thai. You know, the Muay Thai striking, it's a violent art. And Danaa produces it in a violent way. You know, it's beautiful to see. Tough as nails too. You know, this guy can take a shot. His chin is solid. You know, he's just a nasty Muay Thai practitioner. Tough as nails, and he can get violent. Kevin Natividad, 0 wins, 1 loss inside the UFC. Now thinking back to that UFC debut, I'm sorry guys, but Miles Johns should not be doing that to you. I'm just being honest, man. That uppercut, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen Miles Johns hit Kevin Natividad with that uppercut, please go and find it. It was just... You know what? So much credit to Miles Johns, because when you think of Miles Johns, you think of the wrestling that he likes to use, but not on that night. You know, he's producing Francis Ngannou stuff, you know? And if Miles Johns is going to do that to you, yeah, I'm going to take Danaa in this one. I think he's too violent for Kevin Natividad. If Kevin Natividad is going to win this matchup, though, I think he has to use his wrestling. If he can't, I think it could end badly. So I'm going to take Danaa via TKO in round number 2. My numbers, I'd put Danaa minus 180. Kevin Natividad plus 150 to use his wrestling. Yeah, we've got Danaa minus 180, minus 170 Kevin Natividad plus 160, plus 150 to use his wrestling. Yeah, it's spot on. You know, that's the way you picture Kevin winning. But if he doesn't use his wrestling, then you picture the uppercut. Good matchup. I'm looking forward to this one. Tristan Connelly taking on Pat Sabatini. And we're going to start with Tristan Connelly. Now, for those of you that remember, this guy came in on short notice. Real short notice. And he fought Michel Pereira, the crazy Brazilian guy who does backflips inside the octagon. He fought that guy on short notice. And he was able to win. Takedown City. You know, he gassed out Michel and basically won with his wrestling. Tristan Connelly likes to fight like that. He likes to fight, use his wrestling, basically fatigue you. Now, Pat Sabatini, he's quite similar. He's a wrestler. He's a grappler. So we've got two styles that are clashing here. You know, they both like that same style. So this one, in my opinion, it comes down to who you prefer at that style. You know, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer to see Tristan Connelly use his wrestling? Or do you prefer to see Pat Sabatini use his wrestling? For me personally, I think Pat Sabatini's probably a little bit better at doing it. It's not to say Tristan Connelly can't do it, because we see in the debut, he's good at it too. I just think Pat Sabatini's probably a little bit better at that game plan. You know, takes the back a little bit cleaner, more aggressive. Just prefer him here with this style. So I'll take Pat Sabatini via decision. Alright guys, we've got Brendan Allen taking on Carl Roberson. I like this one. You know, this one's a good matchup, and I'll tell you why. It's a pick'em. In my mind, this one's a pick'em. Brendan Allen, we've seen some good grappling moments from this guy. He's got good jiu-jitsu, good top control. But if you look in his last matchup, Sean Strickland, he beat him up. You know, let's be honest, he beat him up. Brendan Allen wasn't able to get that takedown. And you see the results. You know, the striking isn't really there at the moment. I'm not saying he can't strike, because he can crack. But from a boxing point of view, you know, he got beat up. Sean Strickland, he taught him a lesson. Carl Roberson. Now, this guy, primarily a kickboxer, his grappling isn't the best. You know, he's been in there with guys like Marvin Vettori. He took him down. Who else took him down? Wellington Turman. That's a big guy. You know, he's also been in there with Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira mauled him. You know, he mauled the soul out of Carl Roberson. And Glover Teixeira, you know, he does it when he's half asleep. Because if you can remember, Carl Roberson hit Glover Teixeira with those elbows. And Glover was half asleep. But somehow, Glover just pulls this card out of his pocket and it's like, even though you hurt me, even though you had me half asleep, look at this, I'm on top. I got you down still. You know, Glover Teixeira, do you know what, guys? This guy should be teaching wrestling. Because he's getting takedowns half asleep. Way more impressive than getting takedowns fully awake. You know, Glover Teixeira, open up some wrestling schools. But yeah, what was I saying, man? Carl Roberson, he was taken down by Glover. He has struggled with his grappling. This one is still difficult though. If for some reason Carl Roberson is able to stop the takedown, he's probably going to win the kickboxing. I haven't picked against Brendan Allen yet. I'm not going to do it here. I think he does get the takedown. I just don't want to bet on it. You know, I want to watch this one, sit back, not have to worry about no money. You know, Brendan Allen, he needs the takedown. He needs the takedown. He can get it, but I'm not laying money. I'll take Brendan Allen via decision, just no money. Dwight Grant taking on Stefan Sekulic, and we're going to start with Dwight. So Dwight Grant, this guy hasn't got high output. He doesn't really shine in any area. But if you're going to speak about one area that maybe stands out, it's the power. You know, when he hits you, when that swinging power shot hits you, you can see the result. You know, he set down Daniel Rodriguez. You know, this guy does have power, but the output is quite low. Stefan Sekulic, inactive. You know, it's been a while since we've seen this guy. And I know the inactive card it's getting results recently. You know, you look at Jargis, out for what, 5 years? Comes back, KO. Jessica Penne, out for what, 4 years? Comes back, decision win. The inactivity card, it's happening. You know, the inactive fighters are getting results. But I'm not gonna let that faze me. I'm not gonna let that play into it though. I'm gonna stick with Dwight Grant here. I think his power is enough to get this fight finished. Stefan should probably look to grapple, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to happen. Alright homies, last fight on this prelim card, and it's a really decent fight too. You've got Randy Brown taking on Alex Cowboy Oliveira. I think we're going to be split on this one, to be honest, man. Randy Brown, you know, decent guy. The grappling, I would say, is underrated. The boxing on the outside, he's rangy and tall, which makes him difficult to strike with. You see in his last fight with Luque was intelligent to invest in that low kick. You know, I think Cowboy Oliveira maybe should look at that. You know, look at that low kick and maybe implement that into this fight. Because if you don't take away Randy's legs, you know, he's going to use his boxing on the outside. And he's probably going to look to kick you too. Cowboy Oliveira, this guy can get crazy. His gas tank isn't the best. He does slow down. But that's because he brings you into crazy fights. He loves to use his kicks. I'm pretty okay at predicting Cowboy's fights. I go against him and I pick him. He's one of those guys, man, where he can lose as a decent favourite because you know he's a crazy guy. And he can always cash as an underdog with his style. He's a dangerous guy to bet on. But I'm going to take Cowboy Oliveira. I think if he makes it dirty, looks to kick the legs of Randy Brown, just gets crazy in there. I think this could be a great prelim fight. And I'm going to take Cowboy here. I think that's what he's going to do. So I'll take Alex Oliveira via decision. My numbers though, I'd keep them real close. Because in a violent, fatiguing matchup, it could go either way. Could be a close decision. I'd keep Alex Oliveira minus 130, Randy Brown plus 100. And you've got basically the opposite. You've got Randy Brown minus 140, Alex Oliveira plus 130. So yeah, more people are favouring the size, the boxing of Randy Brown. But I think if Cowboy gets violent, it can really be anyone's matchup. You know, it's a good prelim ender. Alright, my homies, you know what time it is. If you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker, but you enjoy the smoke breaks, that's a triple amen, gang. Let's go. Hope you guys are doing blessed, doing great, having a beautiful day. You're most likely watching this on Friday night or Saturday before the fights. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, guys. So yeah, what should we speak about this week? Let's speak about gambling, right? Let's speak about gambling this week. I've been doing some nice things, you know. I've been doing some nice things recently. With decision props. You know, decision props, they've been going my way recently. And it's difficult to pick 3 winners by themselves. You know, if I said to you guys, right, give me 3 winners this week, you know, would you lay juice on that? Give me 3 winners, guys. Would you lay juice on it? But not only give me 3 winners, but give me 3 decision winners, you know? And you don't have to lay juice on that. As you can see with my bet slips, you don't have to lay juice on that. You can put 50 quid on it and get paid a K. You can put 20 quid on it, get paid a K. This week, I tried it with Tony Gravely with 50 quid. Didn't come in, so I went 120. And then it came in. So you can get paid a K if you can pick 3 winners and how they win. Right? So if you're not going money line with three winners for juice, if you haven't got the juice to lay, you can pick free money line, but do you know what? Go one further. I haven't got the money to lay on 3 winners to get paid a lot of money, but I'm going to pick 3 winners and I'm going to get it perfect. I'm going to decide how they win too, you know? So yeah, let me ask you guys. That's the question for this smoke break. If I said to you, you've got to lay juice on 3 winners, who would it be? And if I said to you, okay, now you don't have to lay juice, but I want you to pick 3 decision winners. 3 decision winners. Who do you pick for juice? You know? It's quite a difficult thing to do, but it's doable. You know, I did it 2 weeks ago. I did it the week after. It is doable, guys. And if you can do it 2 weeks in a row, you know, I have the mindset of I can, not I can't. Right? There's going to be people that doubt you in life. A lot of people are going to doubt you. But the one person that shouldn't doubt you, the only person who should not doubt you, that's yourself, right? So don't have the mindset of I can't. Have the mindset of I can. You know? So yeah, that's the question, guys. Give me 3 winners. And then give me 3 decision winners. And maybe try to do that yourself this week. You know, if you haven't got the juice to lay down, be smart about it. Okay, I haven't got the juice, but I'm gonna lay $20 on these 3 fighters, but these 3 fighters are gonna win this the way I think they're gonna win. Now you've got a K. Now you've got juice to play with, you know? That's the motivation this week, guys. I can, not I can't. Okay, and if you do it once, you can do it multiple times. Gonna be honest with you guys, I've never gotten 3 title fights right on one card. I've never done it. You know, since I've been watching UFC, and obviously, you know, we don't get 3 title fights often, but I've still never gotten 3 title fights right. Maybe this is it. Maybe this can be the card that I do it. Alright guys, let's get into breaking down this main card. Starting off this main card, we've got Anthony Smith taking on Jimmy Crute. I love this matchup. Anthony Smith is basically defending his ranking, and Jimmy Crute is trying to take it. Let's start with Anthony. Anthony is a guy we all respect. You know, we love this guy. His toughness. You know, you can't really put away this guy. Anthony Smith is going to pick his teeth up off the floor and hand it to the ref before he says, I'm done. You know, you can outclass him. He's not going away. You know, this guy is a true fighter. But Jimmy Crute, this guy's a prospect. His kicking ability, second to none. We've seen a couple times his wrestling's pretty good too. I've got to side with the new school here. I just think, you know, the power, the kicking, the wrestling, the hunger that Jimmy Crute has, I think it may be too much for Anthony Smith again. I don't like to see Anthony Smith lose, man, because, you know, this guy really is, like I said, the definition of a true fighter. But I don't think his skill is going to be enough to stop Jimmy Crute. Now, having said that, I'm going to take Jimmy Crute via decision still. I don't think he's going to put away Anthony Smith. And if he does, wow, credit to him. And like I said in my smoke break, you know, give me 3 decision winners. This could be one that I play as a decision winner. You know, or maybe I wait for the title fights later on. Maybe I try to just predict all 3 title fights perfect. Who knows? Chris Weidman taking on Uriah Hall. Oh boy. Oh God. So earlier on I spoke about Jeff Molina and Qileng. You should put your money there if you want to sweat. You know, if you want to see a fight get crazy and worry about your money, put the money there. And then I spoke about Brendan Allen and Carl Roberson. Pretty 50-50. If you want to sweat, put some money on that one. Now there's one more spot you can put money if you want to sweat, and it's right here. It's right here, guys. If you're going to bet on Chris Weidman, you're basically going to be sat back watching this fight thinking, man, the chin. I don't want Uriah Hall to hit him in the chin. I don't want to see that. And then you see it land, and then Chris goes down. Or you see it land and Chris kind of takes it, but you think, I don't want to see that again, you know? And if you bet on Uriah Hall, you may be watching it thinking, just hit him in the chin. Hit him in the chin, man. And then you see him connect, and you think, just a couple more. But then the takedown comes. But then Chris gets the takedown, and you're thinking, Uriah, you had one job, man. You had one job, bro. You just got to, just a couple more. I could see that chin was just about to go. One more time. It was going to go. I've seen it go more than once. It was about to go, but now you're on your back. And Chris has been on top for more than 2 minutes. And now it's a close round. Yeah, you're going to sweat if you put money on this matchup. Could Uriah crack the chin? He absolutely could. Could Chris end up with a couple takedowns? Maybe a split decision? He could, man. He really could. I'm going to take Chris Weidman. I don't feel good about it. And, you know, basically what I said is how I feel. You know, you're going to sweat if you lay money on this one. I'm not going to lay money, but prediction-wise, if I've got to make a pick, I'm going to go with Chris to get some takedowns. Pick up a win. 2-win streak. I believe it. I believe he can. Valentina Shevchenko, aka the GOAT, taking on Jessica Andrade. Let's start with Valentina. I'm sure most of you guys know who this girl is. If you don't know who she is, she's a really, really, really good Muay Thai practitioner. Powerful, beautiful boxing. The boxing equally as good as the kicking. Grappling game is pretty close to 10 out of 10 too. She isn't a BJJ master, but her top control, her intelligence with the grappling, it's really high level. The conditioning, the IQ, it's, you know, this fighter is close to a perfect fighter. That's how good Valentina is, in my opinion. Jessica Andrade is a former champion. She has big punching power. But is that going to be enough here? It could be enough if she finds the right spot, but the likelihood of her finding the right spot, as opposed to the Muay Thai champion being able to pick her spots, I think there's a big difference. Even if Jessica chooses to grapple, I don't think she's going to be successful with that game plan, because Valentina she's nasty up close. You know, she's a good grappler. And if this one stays striking, which it should, Valentina's just going to piece her up, in my opinion. Now, I took Valentina decision against Jennifer Maia, and I believe she lost a round in that fight. I'm going to take her to win a decision again here. But I will say this. I think it's more likely that Valentina finds a TKO in this fight than what she would have against Jennifer Maia. And the only reason I think that is because Jessica Andrade, she may leave herself open, get over aggressive. You don't want to do that against Valentina. Jennifer Maia knew better. You know, she hasn't got this ego from power punching, whereas Jessica Andrade has the ego that if I hit you, you're going to go down. And if she uses that, she may find herself going down herself, you know. So Valentina TKO is quite likely, but I'm going to still side with a decision here. My numbers, I'd put Valentina, I'd put her -3, -350 at least. And her actual numbers, -400, -450. Yeah, spot on. Jessica's only chance, in my opinion, is a TKO. And I don't think it's going to happen. Alright, co-main event. We've got Weili Zhang taking on Rose Namajunas. And I do believe they got these fights in the right order. You know, you got Valentina as the co-main. And this is the co-main. This is a brilliant title fight, man. Weili Zhang, like I said with Valentina, I'm sure a lot of you guys, pretty much all of you guys know who this girl is. But if you don't, this girl is a violent kickboxer. And just like Valentina, the boxing is just as good as the kicking. Her conditioning solid too. Her grappling game, I wouldn't say it's as good as Valentina's. You know, I'm basically comparing these two because they're that good. But yeah, Weili Zhang, man, You see against JJ in that great fight. So tough. You know, she's so tough, and she is going to hit you hard, you know, later in the fight. Round 3, round 4, round 5. You know, she's going to deliver that power still. Rose Namajunas. Doug Rose, yeah? This girl's brilliant, man. She's really technical. Her grappling game is strong. She's just a brilliant former champion who's getting a chance to be champion again. Can she do it? You know, she shocked the world against JJ. She knocked her down, man. She shocked the world. Could she do that to Weili Zhang? Just like Jessica Andrade, I think if she finds that sweet spot, it could happen. But the likelihood, you know, I think it's more likely that Weili Zhang is landing a lot of power. And as this fight goes on, as you saw with Rose against Andrade, the second fight, even the first fight, the later that fight went, the more Jessica came into that fight. Even the rematch, if there was one more round, I wasn't liking what I was seeing from Rose Namajunas. Ultimately, I think it's Rose Namajunas TKO or bust. And I'm aware some people are going to disagree. They think, man, actually, do you know what? I think TKO, but I do believe she can win a decision too. For me, I just think as this fight goes on, round 3, round 4, even round 5, I think the power is going to be the difference. You know, and that's why I kind of lean towards, if Rose is going to win, it's probably going to be a technical knockout. She's probably going to shock the world again if she does win. But for me, I'm going to stay with the champion. I actually think the champion's probably going to finish Rose round number 4. And if she doesn't finish Rose, I think it's going to be a great 25-minute title fight. And still, if we go the distance. Alright, homies, main event. If you've enjoyed this breakdown, if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and join the gang. Subscribe. If you haven't head kicked the like button, hopefully you've used your own techniques on the like button, right? So we've got Kamaru Usman taking on Jorge Masvidal. The rematch. Alright, let's jump into it, man. Let's start with the champion. The best way to describe Usman, in my opinion, would be the welterweight version of Khabib. You know? I know some people dislike this guy's personality and kind of dislike him outside the octagon, but if you look at what he does inside the octagon, you can only respect it. And I know we make the jokes about the foot stomp. We make jokes that it's kind of boring, but he's starting to get better at it, man. You look at the way he finished Burns on the feet, right? That jab, it was lightning. It was powerful. It finished him. The grappling is his go-to because he's a wrestler. He doesn't really smash guys the way Khabib smashes you, but the positional top control, the conditioning, the ability to do it round in, round out. That's why Kamaru Usman is a champion. Now, Jorge Masvidal. This guy primarily baptizes people, right? He's looking to baptize you. He's looking to put your body cold. And he's done that now. You know, he's done that to Darren Till. He's done it to Ben Askren. You know, he couldn't do it to Nate Diaz, but that's because Nate Diaz doesn't have a light to turn out. So he cut him up instead. You know, his face looked bad. Jorge Masvidal is a violent man. You know, does he have the ability to hurt Kamaru Usman? Does he have that ability? Yes, he does. But again, you have to ask yourself, what is the probability that Jorge Masvidal is going to do that as opposed to the champion doing what the champion's going to do? Now, I don't think it's the same difference as Valentina and Andrade. I don't think it's that much of a difference. I don't think it's that much as Weili and Rose. I don't think it's that much. I'd say it's the smallest difference out of all 3 title fights. But I would still favour Kamaru Usman. I would still favour him to do what he's going to do. And that's grapple. Push Jorge Masvidal up against the fence. Take him down. Even kickbox with him later on when both guys have slowed down a little bit. I just see Kamaru Usman doing the same thing. Again though, if the challenger wins, in my opinion, it's a TKO. I don't think Kamaru Usman is going to lose a decision. You know, over 25 minutes, I can see him winning rounds based on grappling. I think if Kamaru loses, it's because Jorge Masvidal baptized him. I'm not going to predict it happens, but it's definitely, I would say it's the most likely out of all 3 title fights. Alright homies, I've enjoyed breaking down these fights. As always, I want to see your underdogs, your parlays, all of that good stuff in the comment section. Alright guys, peace.